So if you're over 50 and you've been waking up feeling like the Tin Man, stiff, achy, takes you a good hour just to move normally, you're not alone. This is one of the most common things I hear from people, and most of them think it's just part of getting older, like it's something you have to accept. It's not. There's actually a lot going on in your body while you sleep that explains exactly why this happens, and once you understand it, you can start doing something about it. So here's what we're going to cover. First, I'm going to explain what's actually causing that morning stiffness, the real mechanics of it, not just vague, aging explanations. Then I'm going to give you practical things you can do to fix it. Some of them you can start tonight. And I'll tell you which one makes the biggest difference, because if you only do one thing, that's the one I want you to focus on. Let's get into it. Okay, so why does this happen? Why do you go to bed feeling fine and wake up feeling like your joints aged 20 years overnight? A few things are going on. First, and this is the big one, your joints have this fluid inside them called synovial fluid. Think of it like WD-40 for your body. It lubricates the joint, reduces friction, helps everything glide smoothly. When you're moving throughout the day, that fluid is getting circulated. It's doing its job. But when you sleep, you're still for 6, 7, 8 hours, no movement. And during that time, the synovial fluid isn't circulating. It kind of settles, gets thicker. And for people over 50, here's the kicker. You're producing less of it to begin with. So there's less fluid, and what's there isn't moving. That's reason number one. Reason number two is inflammation. While you sleep, inflammatory chemicals can accumulate in your joints. There's actually research showing that certain inflammatory markers peak in the early morning hours. Your body has this internal clock, a circadian rhythm, and part of that rhythm involves inflammation rising overnight and into the morning. For most people, it's not a big deal. But if you already have some underlying inflammation going on, it stacks up, and you feel it the moment you try to move. Reason number three is your muscles. When you're lying in one position for hours, your muscles tighten up. They shorten, especially the ones around your hips, your lower back, your shoulders. And when muscles are tight, they pull on the joints. They restrict movement. So now you've got joints that aren't lubricated, inflammation that's built up overnight, and muscles that have basically locked into place. Put all that together, and you get that awful, creaky, I can't move feeling every morning. Now here's what I want you to understand. This isn't inevitable. You're not just stuck with it because you're over 50. Each of these factors, the fluid, the inflammation, the muscle tightness, can be addressed. And when you start addressing them, mornings feel completely different. All right, so let's talk about what actually works. The first thing, and this is the one that makes the biggest difference, is movement before you even get out of bed. I know that sounds simple, maybe too simple, but stay with me here. Remember what I said about synovial fluid settling overnight? The fastest way to get it moving again is gentle movement while you're still lying down. Before you swing your legs over the side of the bed, before you stand up and put weight on those stiff joints. I'm talking about 2, maybe 3 minutes. That's it. Start by wiggling your fingers and toes. Then make circles with your ankles and wrists. Bring your knees up toward your chest one at a time gently. Do some slow leg slides, just straightening and bending your knees while lying flat. Roll your shoulders. Turn your head side to side. Nothing intense, nothing that hurts. Just gentle, easy movement to tell your joints, hey, we're waking up now. There was actually a study, I think it was in the Journal of Rheumatology, where they had people with joint stiffness do this kind of gentle movement before getting out of bed. And the results were significant. Something like a 25% reduction in morning stiffness just from those few minutes of movement. No medication, no special equipment, just moving before you stand. And here's why it works so well. When you move a joint, even gently, you're mechanically pumping that synovial fluid around. You're warming up the tissue. You're sending a signal to your body that says, time to lubricate. It's like priming a pump before you turn it on. The second thing is hydration, and the timing matters. Your body loses fluid while you sleep. You're breathing, you're sweating a little, and you're going 7 or 8 hours without drinking anything. By morning, you're mildly dehydrated. And dehydration affects your joints. That synovial fluid I keep mentioning, it's mostly water. When you're dehydrated, there's less of it. It's thicker, it doesn't flow as well. So one of the simplest things you can do is drink a full glass of water first thing in the morning. Before coffee, before anything else, just water. But here's the part people miss. What you do the night before matters too. If you stop drinking fluids at 6 p.m. because you don't want to get up at night, you're going into sleep already a little dry, and you're waking up even drier. So find that balance. Hydrate well during the day, have some water in the evening. Yes, you might have to get up once at night, but your joints will thank you in the morning. The third thing is what you're eating, specifically how it's affecting inflammation. I mentioned earlier that inflammatory chemicals build up overnight. Well, what you eat during the day has a direct impact on how much inflammation your body is producing in the first place. If you're eating a lot of processed foods, refined sugar, vegetable oils, fried stuff, you're basically fueling the fire. You're giving your body the raw materials to produce more inflammatory compounds. And those compounds accumulate while you sleep and greet you first thing in the morning. On the flip side, anti-inflammatory foods can make a real difference. Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, leafy greens, berries, nuts, olive oil, turmeric. These aren't magic bullets, but over time, they shift the balance. They give your body less to inflame with and more to calm things down. There was research out of Harvard. They followed people's diets and tracked inflammatory markers. And the difference between people eating an anti-inflammatory diet versus a pro-inflammatory diet was significant. We're talking measurably lower levels of C-reactive protein and other markers. And those people reported less joint pain, less stiffness, better mobility. So take a look at what you're eating. Not to be perfect, just to be aware. If your dinner last night was fried, processed, sugary, your morning stiffness might be partly a receipt for that meal. The fourth thing is your sleep position, and this one's more important than people realize. If you're sleeping in a position that puts stress on your joints, you're going to wake up feeling it, period. Sleeping on your stomach, for example, is rough on your lower back and neck. You're hyperextending your spine for hours. Sleeping on your side with your top leg falling forward twists your hips and lower back. Sleeping with your arm under your pillow can compress your shoulder all night. The goal is to keep your spine as neutral as possible. If you sleep on your back, a pillow under your knees can take pressure off your lower back. If you sleep on your side, a pillow between your knees keeps your hips aligned. And your pillow height matters. You want your neck in line with your spine, not cranked up or sagging down. I know changing sleep positions isn't easy. You've probably been sleeping the same way for decades, but even small adjustments can help. And if you wake up and the same spots are always the stiffest, your lower back, your shoulder, your neck, your sleep position is probably part of the problem. And look, I want to be real with you for a second. If you don't address this stuff, it doesn't just stay the same, it gets worse. The stiffness that takes an hour to work out now, in 5 years, it might take 2 hours. Or it might not fully go away at all. The joints that are a little creaky now, they're losing cartilage, little by little. The inflammation that's simmering in the background, it's doing damage you can't see yet. I've talked to people in their 70s who told me they wish they'd taken this seriously when they were in their 50s, when it was easier to fix, when the damage wasn't so far along. You're getting this information now. That's an advantage. Use it. The fifth thing is evening movement, what you do before bed. This one's counterintuitive for some people. They think rest before sleep is best. And yeah, you don't want to do intense exercise right before bed. But gentle movement in the evening, a short walk after dinner, some light stretching, maybe 10 minutes of easy mobility work, actually sets you up for a better morning. Why? Because you're going into sleep with your muscles looser and your joints more lubricated. You're not going from sitting on the couch all evening directly into 8 hours of stillness. You're giving your body a head start. I've had people tell me this one change alone made a noticeable difference. Just a 10-minute walk and a few stretches before bed. Nothing complicated, nothing time-consuming, but they wake up feeling measurably better. And the sixth thing, a warm shower first thing in the morning. Heat increases blood flow. It relaxes muscles. It helps that synovial fluid become less viscous, more fluid. So if you're waking up really stiff, a warm shower can accelerate the loosening up process. Some people like to do their gentle movements first, then shower. Some people shower first to take the edge off, then do their movements. Either way works. The point is that heat is your friend when you're dealing with morning stiffness. Use it. Now, or actually, let me add one more thing. If your stiffness lasts more than an hour every single morning, or if it's getting worse over time, or if it's accompanied by swelling, redness, or significant pain, talk to your doctor. Get it checked out. Because while everything I've shared today helps with the normal stiffness that comes with age, there are conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or other inflammatory diseases where you need more targeted treatment. Don't ignore warning signs. All right, let's bring this home. Morning stiffness isn't something you just have to live with. It's not an unavoidable part of aging. It's your body telling you something about fluid, about inflammation, about how you're sleeping and moving and eating. And now you know what to do about it. Move before you get out of bed. 2 minutes. That's non-negotiable. It's the single most effective thing you can do. Stay hydrated, especially in the evening and first thing in the morning. Clean up your diet where you can. Less processed junk, more anti-inflammatory foods. Fix your sleep position. Move a little in the evening. Use heat in the morning. Start with 1 or 2 of these. See how you feel after a week. Then add another. This time next month, you could be waking up feeling like a different person, but only if you actually do something with what you just learned. All right, that's it for today. If this was helpful, subscribe, share it with someone who complains about their mornings, and I'll see you in the next one.